Izoi Sakamaki, Asuka Kudo, and Yo Kasakabe, 3 children with extraordinary powers, receive a mysterious invitation and are suddenly transported to a world called the Miniature Garden. There, they are greeted by a rabbit-eared girl known as Black Rabbit, who informs them that the world revolves around gift games, which challenges its players with games of varying danger in exchange for rewards. Black Rabbit first tests the children with a card-based gift game, which they manage to win after a tactic by Izoi. As the group make their way to a village area, Izoi sneaks off to the edge of the world, where he fights a gift game against a water god and manages to beat him. Meanwhile, Asuka and Yo meet a boy named Jin before being approached by someone. Izoi inquires Black Rabbit about her true intentions, and she reveals to him that she is a member of the no-name community that had lost their assets to a demon lord who forced them to bet everything in a gift game, and now is reduced to a bunch of defenseless children led by Jin and in a desperate need for help. Meanwhile, Asuka and Yo learn the same information from Galdo Gasper, a member of the Force Garo community who invites them to join his side. But upon refusing, Asuka uses her powers to have him reveal to them that Galdo managed to improve his community by kidnapping women and children from other communities to subdue them, killing their hostages instead of returning them, prompting Asuka and Yo to challenge him to a gift game to be played in the next day, in which the losing community will be terminated. After Izoi and Black Rabbit reunite with the others, the group look for Shiroyasha from the Thousand Eyes Guild to appraise the item Izoi got from the water god, and the children challenge her to a gift game. Yo bets on her life that she can ride a griffin during an entire flight around a mountain, and not only manages to do so, but earns the griffin's friendship and learns its powers. Shiroyasha also presents the trio with gift cards, rare items that allows them to list and appraise their own gifts. Meanwhile, Galdo is given a gift by some unknown girl in preparation for the upcoming duel with No Name. With the gift from the water god, the water supply of the No Names is restored. In the eve of the challenge with Force Garo, Izoi stops an attack from Galdo's subordinates and reveals to them that their efforts are futile as all of Galdo's hostages were already killed by him. Before sending them away, Izoi asks them to spread news about Jin, claiming that his community welcomes anyone willing to overthrow the demon lords. Jin does not agree with the idea at first, but Izoi convinces him to think about it. In the next day, the group finds Galdo's house involved by a strange forest, and the rules of the challenge involve defeating Galdo only with a designated weapon. Jin, Asuka, and Yo take the challenge and find him transformed in a huge beast, beside a sword in the wall that they recognize as the weapon they need. Asuka orders Jin to escape, but he ends up doing so by carrying her into his arms. After she manages to stop him, they learn that Yo is severely wounded by Galdo and Asuka takes the sword to fight him by herself. First, she draws him away from the mansion by setting it into fire and uses her authority to control the trees to restrain him and draw power from the sword to defeat him. As Black Rabbit takes Yo to be treated, all of Galdo's slaves are freed and Jin renews before them his vow to take down the demon lords. Meanwhile, an unnamed man arrives at Shirohasha's place. As Yo is still recovering from the fight with Galdo, Black Rabbit discusses with Izoi about their next step, to rescue an important friend of hers called Leticia Dracul, a former demon lord who was stripped of her title and turned into a slave. After Black Rabbit leaves, Izoi is approached by the same vampire who assisted Galdo, who is revealed to be no other than Leticia herself, and learns from her that she has done so to make sure if he and his friends has what it takes to help the community rise again. However, she also reveals that her current master intend to sell her away, making them unable to retrieve her by challenging them on a gift game. Meanwhile, Shiroyasha learns the same info from her visitor, who happens to be Leticia's current owner, Luio's Perseus from the Perseus community. Looking to help Izoi and the others refine their skills, Leticia challenges Izoi to a gift game, but as she is about to be defeated, Black Rabbit protects her, as she realizes that her strongest gift, Lord of Vampires, was taken from her. Members of Perseus are sent to retrieve Leticia, who saves Asuka from being turned into stone by receiving the beam that was sent at her. After Leticia is taken away, Asuka and Black Rabbit has a meeting with Luios at Shiroyasha's place, and as Luios takes an interest on Black Rabbit, he offers Leticia in exchange of she becoming his slave. Back at the community, she considers accepting his proposal, but as the others dissuade her, Izoi appears with 2 rare items he obtained by himself, which Black Rabbit used to convince Luios to accept a gift game against the no-names with said items and Leticia as the prize. The gift game against Perseus involves invading their fortress, and only those who can reach Louis before being detected shall have the right to challenge him. With those rules in mind, Izoi comes with a plan having Asuka and Tashida-San confronting Louis guards, while he sneaks past them with Jin. The plan works and Izoi finds Louis in a coliseum, beside Leticia, who is turned into stone. Instead of confronting him, Louis unleashes his trump card, Algol the Gorgon, a former demon lord under his control. Algol turns all outside the coliseum including Asuka and Tashida-San into stone and attacks Izoi, who easily defeats it by destroying its gift with his unknown ability. Louis admits defeat, but Izoi only takes him down after raising the stakes of the game to ensure that the Perseus Guild is destroyed for good. The team is turned back to normal and so is Leticia. As the no-names celebrate their victory, another letter from an unknown sender is seen on a table. The members of No Name are invited to a festival to be held in the northern region to celebrate the rise in power of the local leader. Upon being warned by the others to not take part in the festival due to the high traveling costs, Izoi, Asuka, and Yo decide to go there against their will and to tease Black Rabbit. They leave behind a letter of challenge to her claiming that they will leave the community should she not catch them in a day. Soon after arriving at the northern region, the 3 are intercepted by a furious Black Rabbit who manages to catch Asuka, and Yo and Izoi challenges her to a gift game where the winner is whoever manages to catch the other and will be granted to make a request to the loser. The challenge ends in a draw, with both being granted a wish from each other. But all the commotion they cause brings the attention of the local authorities. The team visits Sandora and her overprotective companion. Asuka and Rattenfanger go to a display with objects submitted from each community. A gust of wind blows out every light and Asuka spots rats. They chase after her while she is fighting them off. Asuka puts Rattenfanger in her blouse. As Leticia looks for her, she sees a lot of movement and goes to Asuka. She yells out to the rats. They converse a little, then go to use gift game with Aisha and Jack-o'-lantern. Yu surrenders in her game because she wants to protect her gift. As they finish up with their gift game, game sheets fly all over the area. Yu and Black Rabbit each read one. This introduces Ratten, Wesser and their boss, Black Preacher. The battle of the creators begins where Yo is pitted against Aisha Ignis Fatus from the Will-o'-the-Wisp community and their greatest gift, Jack-o'-lantern, much to Asuka's delight of seeing him for the first time. Faced with an immortal demon, Yo surrenders although she could ask someone for help from her community, not wanting to rely on others. Just then, black geese rolls start falling from the sky, inviting everyone to join a game. The aim of the game forces players to break the false lore and expose the true legend, as well as forming a barrier around Shiroyasha that hinders her participation in the game. Above the arena are the members of the community, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Izoi, hoping to find their leader, randomly picks an opponent and ends up fighting Wesser, the embodiment of the Wesser River from the fairy tale. Leticia and Sandra also battle against Pest, a demon lord of the Black Plague in the story as Asuka. Yo and Jin try to figure out the cause of Shiroyasha's inability to join the game. Ratten, the embodiment of the rats from the story, and the one who attacked Asuka in the art exhibit, gains control over the citizens of Salamandra using her flute. Asuka makes Jin and Yo run away, wanting to beat Ratten, but loses and is lost. The episode starts with a postponement of the gift game between the problem children and the demon lord. The two sides meet at a negotiation table and determine the game will resume in a week. Pest, the Black Plague, reveals that she is spreading pathogens throughout the city to make people ill. Asuka is in a dark cave and is given a gift game of her own to gain control of a power that will help the problem children beat the Demon Lord's gift game. Izoi continues to fight against Wesser, the real Pied Piper of Hamelin, revealing that the Pied Piper of Hamelin appeared during the time the Black Plague was getting weak, and that the others were added later and were modeled after Black Plague, ultimately provoking Wesser to fight and be defeated. Meanwhile, using Dean, Asuka battles against the Rattenstroms and wins despite allowing her to play one additional song to control Dean. To buy time, Pest tells Sandra and Black Rabbit of her identity as the embodiment of the resentment and revengeful desire of the 80 million people that died from the Black Plague, wanting to have revenge on the sun, and hence Shiroyasha. Sensing her two comrades' death, her patience snaps, spreading a dark red wind of plague that kills anyone it touches. To stop her the never-ending flow of sickness, Black Rabbit transports the fighters to the Moon Palace, the Chandra Mahal, weakening Pest's power. Asuka commands the full potential of the Spear of Indra that Black Rabbit lent her to defeat Pest, thereby ending the game. After the battle, Asuka meets with the children, who tell Asuka of another interpretation of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. In the story, the 130 children left their parents' homes to follow the Pied Piper to a city where they would build their own community, the Ratenfanger. Deciding to return to their time, they leave her in charge of Dean and their 131st member, the little fairy that Asuka names Maron. In the Salamandra Palace, Izoi confirms his claims to Mandra that Salamandra had invited the Demon Lord Pest to the festival, staging her defeat, which can concrete Sandra's claim to her position as Salamandra spreads the news of their victory against the Demon Lord. With no excuse for the actions, Mandra lets Izoi take his life in exchange that Sandra is kept unknowing. But Izoi tells him that he would rather want Salamandra to be the first to aid them in their time of need instead. At the No-Name community, everyone attempts to refertilize their land with the help of Maron and Dean. In the midst of happy toil, a letter floats down before Izoi with a mysterious seal on top. This is the end of my video, so please watching all of my anime recap series. Thanks for watching.